What Donald Trump has announced in terms of his tariffs is just plain dumb.
Now the entire economy is in chaos. And that's solely due to Donald Trump.
This is a president who's running an economic policy now based on kind of bullying and domination.
It's not trade policy. It's a political weapon designed to collapse our democracy.
So the left and the legacy media melting down over these new Trump tariffs. Meanwhile, President Trump, he is determined to make trade fair again for the United States. He posted this on Truth Social. This is an economic revolution and we will win. Hang tough. It won't be easy, but the end result will be historic. We will make America great again. So here to discuss is the founder of the Liberty and American Greatness and author of From Mar-a-Lago to Mars, President Trump's Great American Comeback, Nick Adams. Also with us is Nagah Ezaldein, member of the New York Young Republican Committee, and we can't forget about our GOP strategist and CEO and founder of the American Civics Exchange, Flip Pidot. Great to have everybody here. A good panel. I want to get your thoughts. These tariffs have now taken effect, Flip, but, you know, Trump, he is doubling down on this. Despite the stock market, he says it's going to be short-term pain for long-term gain. Do you agree with that?
The short-term pain is assured, right? Because we've experienced it already. Thursday and Friday were bloodbaths on Wall Street. We'll see what happens Monday. You know, interestingly, he certainly is trying to play a longer game. And you notice these country-specific tariffs are set to go into effect on Wednesday. So similar to when he first announced the Canadian and Mexico tariffs, he put it like 3 or 4 days out. And then suddenly we had a deal right the night before. So I would look for hints Monday, Tuesday. Hassett already saying countries are coming to the table. If you start to see more of that, little hints that things are happening, I would not be surprised to see some announcement of a postponement by Tuesday, and that would hopefully lessen some of the short-term pain.
That's right, Nick. And President Trump talks about the art of the deal. This could be a way of negotiating, bringing these other countries to the table. Do you anticipate that that's going to happen? I mean, you're seeing right now China's trying to hit back. Will the EU hit back? Canada hit back? It's a wait-and-see game right now. What's your takeaway from it?
Look, I think that all kinds of countries across the world are going to be coming to Washington and trying to make a deal because that's what they've got to do. We've already seen action from Vietnamese leaders. President Trump spoke about that already. And I think that as the days and weeks unfold, we're going to see lots of different leaders from all around the globe come to President Trump and a negotiation will begin. The left for so long have been so happy for America to be ripped off, for the American middle class to suffer. And President Trump has been absolutely resolute on this. There's interviews on Oprah, on Larry King from the 1980s. For the last 40 years, he's been singing the same tune. It's not fair. America's getting ripped off. He's in a position to do something about it. He's doing something about it.
Naj, what's your takeaway? I mean, I talked to a guy, a small business owner. He's from Canada, actually. But he opened up since these tariffs were announced, $5 billion investment into the United States. And this guy sells windows for a living. So do you think that more small business is going to be impacted here?
For sure.
People are going to start moving stuff into the United States.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you said. And like, as a small business owner myself, I've actually had the tariffs affect my business. But like you said, it's a long-term thing. Short-term, it will affect the pricing, but it's a long-term stability plan.
Do you think that the American public is going to give President Trump some time here? I mean, they might be looking at their portfolios, their 401ks, and being, well.
That's the thing. Yeah, so I think probably some time, but probably not a lot. If you have more, multi-thousand point down days for the Dow, that time starts to run out fast. That's why I say we really want to keep an eye on what happens on Wall Street tomorrow, because that feedback loop stops being, Speaker Johnson, how many of the sort of marginal Republicans can keep in line from passing a bill to, take over tariff policy to, rank and file members getting calls from their constituents saying, hey, my portfolio is down 20%, in the last month. What are you going to do about it? So next couple of days, I think, are really crucial.
We did hear from the Agriculture Secretary on CNN, and she says other countries don't want to take our product. Do you think that this is now going to force them? They say that it has to do with the beef isn't good, or we use too many hormones in our products here. Do you think that that's going to change now that Trump is doubling down on this and says, look, you got to buy our beef?
Yeah, I think it will. I think there's a very good chance that it will. This is exactly what all of this is designed to do. These countries won't take our products. President Trump is saying, if you're not going to take our products, that's okay, but we're going to penalise you for that. So I think that we are going to see different countries getting stuck into the best beef of all, American beef.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to get to this. Thousands of people angry about the way the President Trump is running the country. They rallied across cities all over the U.S., part of the so-called hands-off demonstration. Besides Trump, they also voiced their opposition to Elon Musk, who is obviously doing some work with Doge. And but Naj, I mean, you're seeing these protests, but then you also see his approval rating is quite high.
I agree. Like, I've seen the protests. I was actually like part of like walking through the city yesterday and saw one of the anti-Trump Tesla protests. I just think it's ridiculous. They're trashing the streets. They're not getting their point across, and nothing they're doing is making sense. It's just a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah, but with Elon Musk, though, stepping aside,
right.
He's going to still be involved in the administration. He's a friend of the administration, as they describe it. But, I mean, he evolve himself in the politics, and a lot of people were unhappy about that. How do you see now the Trump administration, if they're sort of distancing themselves, does that actually work in their favor?
It may. I mean, it suggests they certainly do internally see him as you know, fair or not, having become more and more of a political lightning rod. To some extent, I thought that might be part of the calculus, is why they keep him around, right? If he's the lightning rod, Trump himself and the actual, you know, formal policymakers are not the lightning rods. They're not taking the flack from the front lines. But obviously, they've decided that the optics, at least, have come to a point where he's become so polarizing, such a weight on what they're trying to get done, that it's better that he step aside, take less of a formal front seat role in the Doge process going forward.
And the Democrats are really trying to find a new leader. There's not really anyone that's stepped forward yet. One that is sort of making a name is Cory Booker, and he was on the morning shows today. Watch.
The biggest mistake is not centering people enough. A lot of people voted for Donald Trump because they trusted him and didn't trust that Democrats could deliver for them. And so this, to me, is one of the most important principles in American politics. You may have this great policy, great analysis, great thoughts and ideas, but people don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. We are in a state where, again, the Democratic Party should own up. We partfully laid this pathway for this demagogue.
So there you go. I mean, he's taking accountability here for the Democrats and what they've done wrong. But he also gave a 25-hour speech marathon. What is Cory Booker's play here? Is he trying to emerge as the new leader of the Democrat Party, or maybe younger, fresh ideas? What's your take?
Well, I don't really know what he's trying to do. I saw his 25-hour talkathon. I didn't watch maybe even a full minute of it. Yeah. But I really didn't understand what the purpose of it was, and I think that he's had a charisma bypass, so I don't really think that he's got much of an opportunity to become president or do much else.
Yeah. What's your takeaway?
I thought it was literally garbage, and I couldn't watch it. I think I lost brain cells watching it, and I do feel like it was just political theater. I just feel like he's trying to get like ahead of the game and like you said, like possibly run for presidency. Trying
to get at least something, but interesting to see that the Democrats are now taking some accountability because they seem to point the finger at everybody else, including President Trump. We got to leave it there, but Nick, Naj, and Flip, we're going to get you back here in the second hour.